Hi, welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. So I was tagged by Robert Onken of Self Reliant Mindset with an 8-question, 5-tag video. So got my questions here, let's get started. Question number 1 is the most memorable camp. I've camped my whole life. I've had, a ton of experiences that are really sticking in my head, but I think the number 1 for me was, I think I was a freshman in high school, and my dad took me out of school for a week and we went deer hunting. So we went to an established deer camp in Pennsylvania, a big hunting tradition in that area. This camp had been going on since the 50s, so it was, a set of guys got together, their kids came along, invited a few odds and ends that weren't related. My dad got involved in this camp. So I was lucky enough to get to go to it. Great hunting experience. But to do the old time camping, we had the big wall tent set up, especially at that age where, obviously you're very impressionable around all these older guys. It was a great experience for me. I wasn't treated like a kid at all. I was absorbed into the camp like I had been there from the start of it. It was a wonderful time. I learned a lot, and I'll remember that forever. So question number 2, solo camp or group camp? My initial reaction to this was solo camp. I solo camp a lot. Doesn't bother me in the slightest bit to go anywhere by myself. Usually I work kind of a weird schedule, so when I'm off I can't count on anybody else to be able to go with me. So I'm going where I want to go, when I want to go, and that's all there is to it. But after question number 1 with the group camp experience that I had, some of my more memorable camps has always been in a group setting. I've been involved in a lot of great group hunting camps, a lot of hunting experiences with groups of people. It's good to see how other people do things so you can learn from them. Besides that, Pathfinder School Campcraft, I've been down there quite a bit, either as an instructor, helper, or student. And, you really get to see what other people are doing. You get to learn from them. And just the camaraderie of seeing friends. So group camping is the way to go for me. Question number 3, favorite knife. This is a toughie for me. I've got a lot of different knives. I use a lot of different knives. I switch knives fairly often. Probably, if I had to answer that question, my favorite knife currently is my Campcraft Lieutenant Colonel. This knife is probably my favorite just because I've got so much experience in dirt time with it. This knife has got me through a lot of hard times. It's got a little bit over a 5-inch blade. It's got that kind of French trade knife profile to it. This is, I think it's 5160 spring steel. I've started a lot of fires with it. It's got me through a lot of rough times, and I've always been glad I've had it. I can't say favorite knife without including my skookum. I do truly love the skookum, but I don't have the dirt time with it like I do with the Campcraft Lieutenant Colonel, and that was made by Rocky Woodland Forge, by the way. Like I said, I haven't absolutely been in a dire situation where I needed this knife for some reason, but it's a dandy craft knife. I really like to have it. I enjoy using it. I could use it for hours on end. Fits great in the hand, and the fact that I waited so long for it. I did a video, I think it was like over 1,300 days or something like that I had to wait for this knife, and I'm not disappointed by it at all. But we just haven't gelled like I have with some of the other knives. Honorable mention, because I can't decide on one knife. I've got a lot of dirt time with the Bushcrafter. This was my go-to knife for years and years. I really like it, really enjoy using it. I've got a couple different variations. This is an old blind horse version. I've got the HC version, the thinner version that LT Wright makes, and then I had a 5-inch version of the same knife made. I believe this has been made on and off. This was, I think, like the Bushcraft Mark II is what they made it. I couldn't find it, so I just called, this one's a Battle Horse actually, so I just called them and I said, make me the Pathfinder knife size based on the Bushcrafter. So when I got this, I thought I was done. I would never need another knife. You know, that was silly of me. But the Bushcrafter size, the Bushcrafter style knife is great. No matter what variant of it is, this is going to at least get an honorable mention. I couldn't do a video without commenting on my Bushcrafter. Number 4, where did I learn to bushcraft? You know, I'm a student from the Pathfinder School and Campcraft also. So hands-on training with an instructor, you know, it takes you a long way. But that doesn't get it without the home study stuff. So obviously, you know, making a YouTube channel, I do watch YouTube. Not as much as I used to. I'm trying not to influence my channel by what I see on other people's channels. But if there's a specific knot that I'm trying to do, I might watch 4 or 5 different people tying that knot. Everybody has a different way of teaching. Everybody's got a different way of learning. And sometimes I can see the same thing 4 times and somebody else's version, that 5th one, might just be the one that clicks in my head. So, you know, hands-on instruction at a quality school is awesome. YouTube is great for just being able to have a redundant education over and over again with the same skill from different people. And there's a lot of times that I rewatch a video that I've seen, you know, years ago, and I pick up another trick from it. So it's always there. It's a great resource to have, and I do use it. Favorite fire starting method? Probably for me it's flint and steel. I use the ferro rod a lot, obviously. Bow drill's fun, but if I have proper char and a good bird's nest, a flint and steel is automatic. I don't have to worry about it. It's a given. I can get a fire with a flint and steel, no ifs, ands, or buts, with the proper equipment. Plus, it looks cool. So, you know, if I've got the kids' friends out in the backyard, you know, if I pull a Zippo out and light a fire, nobody's really impressed. You know, if I get a flint and steel out and, you know, get a piece of char cloth going and take a bird's nest and blow a flame, everybody thinks it's cool. So, just for the wow factor and the simplicity, flint and steel is my go-to. Most essential piece of kit. You know, everybody has different ideas of what they have to have with them. I try to travel fairly light. I don't always have my 10-piece kit with me because a lot of times I'm doing skills, you know, in the backyard or in the woods or close to home. So I might have a 10-piece in the vehicle with me, but I'm just taking what I need to practice at that time. And, you know, obviously the knife's always with me. Might not be this one, probably won't be this one. I try to switch knives for a couple different reasons. It gets you used to, you know, using different tools. And I have a strong shooting background. I used to shoot competitively for years before I got into this stuff. And with guns, it's called like an Excalibur syndrome. So I have this custom 1911 that I've got all this money in, and I practice and I practice. It's great. I can, you know, make that tool work, but I want to be able to pick up anything and make it work. So in order to have my mind set not where I have to have my special custom knife to get anything done, I can grab anything. You know, I've taken old hickory, cut it down. You know, the cheapest knife, pocket knives, I'll use machetes or axes just to get myself used to using a sharpened tool to get the job done that's not necessarily ideal for it. So I would say most important piece of kit's a knife, and then put a slash and say, you know, any sharpened piece of metal, basically. Do I keep a bug out bag in my car? No, I don't. I have my 10-piece with me. I have an urban EDC bag that I did a video on based on my Rucker. That's got the 10Cs in it in a carryable form. Okay, so I don't have, you know, wool blanket, tarp, big tarp, all that kind of stuff. In my vehicle, you know, I have multifunctional items that I can strip from the vehicle, add to my lightweight 10-piece kit, and take care of bigger problems. So I keep a wool blanket in my Jeep. You know, that serves, you know, a million purposes. Most of the time it's a padding at a soccer game, or if I'll lay it out for kids to lay on at a soccer field if we don't have enough chairs or something. I have a full-size 8x8 canvas tarp in my Jeep folded up. Main thing I do with that is use to line my Jeep if I'm carrying dirty stuff. If I get a deer, whatever, I can unfold that tarp, set it in there, and I'm fairly clean. And I also have a coffee can that's like a big container, and in that coffee can I've got, again, redundant 10C types items, as well as a toolkit. So no, I don't carry a bug out bag, but I have enough multifunctional items that I use on a daily basis, or at least every week or so, that I can strip out as needed and form a kit on the fly and get the job done. Alcohol, wood, or gas stove, which do I prefer? I kind of use all of them. An alcohol stove's handy to carry. I cook over a wood fire more now than really ever. It's kind of simpler. I've always got a fire anyway. It kind of sets the mood, when you're making coffee over an open fire. It sets the whole camp up. So I usually use a wood, but going back to the nostalgic stick of it, the gas stoves are cool. I really don't use one anymore. I've got a Coleman 2-burner that's probably older than I am, and I really just don't use it. But when I'm in a big camp setting, especially a deer camp where you're there to do a function, you're not there to camp and bushcraft and carve and whittle. Hearing that Coleman, hiss on the lanterns and the stoves, just, man, that clicks and brings back memories for me. I was always younger, obviously, the younger guy of the group. So it was my job to, refill the lanterns. So I had to carry the Coleman fluid and the lanterns and the stoves away from camp so we didn't get any fuel smell on everybody's hunting clothes. So it was my job to fill the lanterns, pump the lanterns up, have everything set up before evening. So even to this day, when I hear the hiss of a Coleman lantern, and it just really brings back memories for me. So definitely gas has a special place for me. All right, now for the tags. So I'm going to tag 5 people with an add-on on this. So the people I'm going to tag on this, I was trying to think of who I could tag, and it was a simple process. Not everybody has YouTube channels, but I got 5 friends of mine, and they've all got schools or Facebook pages. Some of them have YouTube channels. So I'm going to put links in the description to send you to wherever they're going to be posting their reply videos, as well as my Burning River Bushcraft Facebook page. Hopefully I'll get a link to all their responses on there so you can see it all at once. First guy is Elliott. He's a campcraft instructor as well. We went through the instructor program at Bethlehem College together. We took a whole bunch of classes through a course of a year and got a lot of dirt time together. His response is on his Facebook page. He's got a Homestead Survival School Facebook page, so that's where you're going to look for his response at. Number 2, Mike Sommesi. Again, campcraft school guy, campcraft instructor. Ton of dirt time. We went through the whole Bethlehem outdoor college thing together, as well as Wayne. I forgot to mention Mike has. We've done some old sand shoots, survival adventure network shoots. Great times. He's going to put his response up at his Cast Iron Mike Facebook page. The third is going to be another campcraft instructor, Jason Greer. So Jason, went through the school with us as well. We really gelled in that 1 year time. We did. It's good to go through the same thing with a group of people. It really bonds you. Jason has started a school up on his own, Surefoot Survival and Self Reliance. He also has a Surefoot Survival YouTube page, which I'm assuming that's where his video is going to be put up at. As well as having his own school. He's a campcraft instructor and a Pathfinder instructor also. Number 4, John Dosch. John was with us through the outdoor college as well. He has his own school, Pass It On Wilderness Schools and Training, Wilderness Skills and Training. He has his own school. He has his Facebook page. I assume you would look on his Pass It On Wilderness Skills Facebook page for his response video. You know, John's at a lot of the campcraft schools. He's in a good position right now to be able to attend most of the classes. So he's really, you know, pulling the load for us as far as being an instructor at the school. Number 5, Matt Mercer. I attended, let me see, Matt was at the Pioneer class that I took at the Pathfinder School. I've attended the Pathfinder School as a helper, and before Matt was an instructor, Matt was there with me helping. So you're doing a bunch of odds and ends, you know, you're doing the grunt work, collecting firewood, stuff to keep the school running in the background. So I was with Matt on that. We kind of hooked up together at that, and you know, been friends ever since. Matt's a Pathfinder School instructor, and he has a Facebook page as well as a YouTube channel, Black Hat Bushcraft. So very active YouTube channel. You know, definitely check it out, and he's going to put his response up there. So that's my 5. I did have a 6th. Ethan Hoell has Nomad Survival. Ethan went through the outdoor college school with us, and you know, he's an instructor at Campcraft as well. When I got a hold of Ethan, he's just not quite ready to hit a video yet. He's got a couple things going on with his school, but since I'm sending you all over to check people's Facebook pages and subscribe to their channels, you know, go ahead and check out Nomad Survival as well. So this is the first time I've done a, you know, questions and tags video. So Robert, thanks for hitting me up with this. Wayne, Mike, Jason, John, Matt, you know, thanks for helping me out. Thanks for making a response video for me. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.